Welcome back to another episode of Beginner versus Pro. Today, you guys, we have a good friend of ours, the newest member of our full-time filmmaker course, Ivan. Ivan, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good.
Ivan, how long have you been filming?
Not too long, maybe less than a month.
Less than a month, you guys. So we gave Ivan a $30,000 Red Raptor and an entire production grip van full of equipment. There's probably 50 or 60 grand of just Leica glass in there. We gave him $20,000 of lighting equipment, professional audio equipment, tripods, hazers, sliders, everything we think he could use to create a high quality production. Me, on the other hand, I am shooting on the Sony ZV-E10, which we deemed as the best beginner camera of 2022, so it should be fun. We have a good friend of ours, Dallin, who has created a 45-second commercial for a mock company he's created, and our job is to produce a high-quality interview commercial with cinematic B-roll to help tell the story. So Ivan and I will shoot the interview, shoot the B-roll, spend the weekend editing together our videos, and then send them off to Parker, who will judge them and declare one of us the winner. How you feeling?
Nervous.
I'll just leave you to it, and good luck.
All right, thank you.
Let's do it.
You got this.
All right, so first thoughts.
I just want a little bit of natural light.
Yeah.
But I want maybe depth.
Okay, yeah.
Depth in the shot. I don't know if this really gives me much depth over here, but because I'm thinking maybe something like this over here and kind of getting a shot out that way. Yeah,
for sure.
Take one more look over this way. Yeah, I'm feeling good about this over here. I think this one you get a lot more, there's just a lot more stuff that's going on for the interview where you're looking at him, but it's a better background, I feel like.
Going on the sticks, is this where you want it?
Yeah. What's the big round looking one?
Big round looking one, so I got two of those. So I have a 5-foot one that attaches to this guy here.
I don't know, maybe you might try that one.
Okay, let's do that
Let's
first.
take a look at that one. Wow, that's a lot bigger than I...
5 foot, baby.
That's 5 foot. So I like this frame of the front, then I think I would bring this
light over here?
Back that way.
Okay.
But I think this is where angle we want.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
I want a key light so bad in my shot. This thing is looking so good.
Okay, he's gonna clap you, man.
Hey, he hasn't put a bonsai in the shot yet, and I'm hoping he doesn't.
I don't know how it will look. But if there's a bonsai behind him in the background, then I think, okay, let's see how it looks right back there. See if it's in the frame. Perfect. All right.
You liking that?
Yeah, I like this view. Then I think we can start rolling.
Forgetting one important thing.
Oh. Yeah,
What could it be?
What could it be? We need audio.
Audio.
Yep.
If you feel like it's too quiet, you want to watch your levels, make sure they're healthy. Green is pretty healthy. You don't want it to be too quiet.
So how I'm hearing it right now is how it's gonna come out.
Yes.
We could move it closer.
You gonna go closer?
Typically, you'll go hit the record, camera speeding, that signals to the audio guy, okay, I'll start rolling, because he doesn't need to roll until you roll. So then he'll say rolling, and then once he's rolling and you're speeding, you yell action.
Speeding.
Speed.
Action.
I've struggled with aggression my whole life until one day my therapist suggested that I look into bonsai. You're able to channel your frustrations and rage through chopping these little trees.
So what are you looking to do?
So I just really want his just kind of his face, not anything with his body. Maybe I don't know, chest and up. I think that looks pretty much, that's probably the best. I think this angle looks really good on you, Dallin. When you feeling good? You ready? We're gonna start.
Yeah.
All right, speed.
Speed.
Action.
I've struggled with aggression my whole life until one day my therapist suggested that I look into bonsai.
All right, so my challenge is, you guys, one, limited lighting. We have the sun that's about to go behind this house here in about 5 minutes, so we'll be completely at the mercy of soft light. I'm proud of Ivan. A lot of the shots he did are the angles that I would have chosen naturally. This is the best angle for depth of this room. He did a great second angle of the tight for Dallin. Couple things I'm looking at. I want to shoot more of a documentary style, kind of like a Netflix Wes Anderson composed shot here. And then my second angle, I want to do a very tight. Now my tightest focal length on this is the 50mm. He got to use a 95mm, which I wish I could have, but this is what I have to work with. So this is what we're gonna be using. Yeah, so that's good. So we're gonna keep it all the way up. I also have this FTF gear reflector, which I will be definitely using. Here's the shot without, and here's the shot with reflector. And that's the silver side, which we definitely do not want. We can also make it a lot moodier and give him some negative fill, which we might just do. I need you to move that big green chair, maybe just out of frame, like over here. Turn on the back ambient lights. Okay, and then I want you to drag the entire blue couch backwards. I'm so nervous. Grab shears and make a really small handheld bonsai. I think the whole time you're just kind of like snipping away. Like Ivan didn't do a whole lot of directing Dallin on like, try this approach, try this approach. What I want my approach to be, because Dallin in the commercial says he has a lot of pent up anger and that his therapist told him to start cutting bonsai, I envisioned this Dallin character to be a psychopath. So that's kind of the look I'm going for, Dallin, is more of kind of like you're trying to stay sane, and your bonsai plant in your lap is the only reason you're not flipping out during this interview. So maybe throughout the interview, you're kind of petting the bonsai or acting like you're trimming it. I love the idea of exaggerating bonsai plants, so I'm just gonna put them everywhere. This one kind of disappeared in the background, so we're gonna just put this like literally right behind him for no rhyme or reason. The only thing I'm not loving is I have this big empty wall here, which I want to fill. Nate Taylor, could you grab this tree and put it under that picture frame? Where's your iPad? Ugh. All right, we are fighting the sunlight, we are fighting my patience, and we're fighting the stupid camera's battery. Guys, the hardest part is I'm trying to shoot a professional interview with a on-camera crappy Rode mic.
Check.
Yeah, great audio. We're rolling this, we're just gonna go. All right, got your iPad, speed, and action.
My whole life, I've struggled with aggression until one day my therapist suggested that I look into bonsai.
Cut. Okay, we're doing one more take?
Yeah, I changed the words
I
because
love
I got
that.
lost.
I loved it. Is there somewhere we can fit in like a really creepy giggle, or like my therapist said would help? Like you're trying to like, like get really nervous about it. I'm actually really happy with this shot. Like it looks pretty good.
Until one day, my therapist.
Sorry, I need that shade to match the length of that shade. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Good. I'll show you what I'm seeing right here, you guys. This is the second camera angle, and I'm loving what these kitchen lamps are doing as a rim light to Dallin's back outline here. And you'll notice in Dallin's eye here on the frame, there's a nice catch light of the window. I'm gonna stop recording because it might overheat. Camera rolling, 3, 2, 1, action. So unsettling.
It's your forehead, you okay?
I actually nailed my nose.
That actually looked really good when you turned around happy.
And it is now my turn to judge both of these videos and tell you which one I think is better. Now, a couple of things I'm going to be looking for is overall composition, lighting, color correction, color grading, sound design, music choice, overall flow of the video, which one sells me the most on the product at hand. So this will be my criteria for deciding which is better. Let's go ahead and dive right in. First up is Ivan's video. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Wow. Suspenseful.
I've struggled with aggression my whole life until one day my therapist suggested that I should look into bonsai. She said it might be a healthy outlet for my pent-up anger, and she was right. I was immediately hooked, and that was the start of Broken Bonsai. When you purchase one of my bonsai, you're able to channel your frustrations and rage through chopping these little trees, forcing them into impossibly tiny pots, and wiring them up to manipulate how they look and grow. It's my mission to share my path to true inner peace with others. Now, when those dark feelings arise, you can grab a pair of pruning shears and go to town on these little guys. With Broken Bonsai, you can turn bad days into living pieces of art.
Well done, Ivan. This doesn't look like a beginner to me. This guy looks like he has had a little bit of practice. Now, few things that were beginner level, few things that weren't. So, first thing that stood out to me, Ivan, was the color. Now, Red Raptor footage is not easy to color, especially if you've only used DSLR footage. It's a different workflow, different color management, different profiles, and so you might not get the color right the first few times you use it. The color in general is flat, so it appears that the color space that was used wasn't transformed correctly in DaVinci or Premiere. I guess he edited this in Final Cut Pro X. So that would be the first thing, is understanding what profile this was shot in and then correctly converting it in your editing software to make sure that you're in a Rec 709, which is what you usually export videos in. Now, I did like the intro. I thought his storytelling was good. The editing was solid. So those were the things that to me weren't very beginnerish. I thought he had a pretty good handle on how to make it all flow, and some beginners just don't know how to tell a story and make things flow well. So great job in that regard, Ivan. I like how you captured our attention by having some kind of hook. The hook was kind of suspenseful and he starts smashing his head. So those were some of the highlights. Really thought you did well there, Ivan. A lacking element of that was the sound design. So if you play that back, the music suspense is good. The sound design, you can kind of hear a little when he's hitting his head, but it really didn't match the oomph of the moment. It was kind of a quiet sound design. So again, another thing that most beginners need a little bit of practice in before they start to get the hang of is understanding sound design, levels of music and sound effects so that one isn't drowning out the other. And in this case, the music was a lot louder. Then we cut to black and we get to the interview portion. Composition wise, I thought this was super solid. There's nothing about this interview setup, this composition that I would say, ooh, that's really terrible. Creative differences, sure, but nothing in that interview is standing out as, ooh, you should have done a lot better. And again, he's had some training, and so he's using some of these rules, like the rule of thirds. He doesn't have too much headroom, not his head squishing up against the frame. He's shooting on the dark side. So these are all good things that Ivan's done that show me that he has some experience. He has the microphone positioned in a great position. I can't see where it's at, but again, this shows me that he has had some experience, some training, probably watched a few full-time filmmaker tutorials to understand where you should be putting that microphone. Most beginners place it too far away and you hear a bunch of room echo and reverb, but his mic placement sounds solid and he had access to really nice microphones. So the audio quality we're getting of Dallin's voice is actually really good throughout. So most of the shots up until now are a little bit cool. And then when we cut to the B-roll of the bonsais, it's a little bit warm. Color temperature, another beginner mistake that we see a lot. The lighting would be the main thing here that stands out to me. It doesn't look like there's a key light on here to better emphasize what we're supposed to be looking at. Just looks kind of like room light, and most room light, as naturally isn't going to look very good. I love this shot here from Ivan. We got a shot of Dallin's face, and then he kind of tilts down to his hand going to cut the bonsai, but we don't rack focus to the hand. Awesome opportunity to rack focus. We stay focused on Dallin's shirt, which at this point is irrelevant. We want to be focused on what he's cutting, but the idea was good. I like the direction you were headed with that shot. Okay, final shot I wasn't a huge fan of. Composition-wise, at about 55 seconds, the frame is mostly the wall. Dallin's head is in the bottom left corner. You can't even see the bonsai plant. Understanding when your composition just isn't quite there and doing a retake when necessary. Eventually, he catches up and gets Dallin putting the plant on the shelf, but the plant is out of focus, which is the main subject. Even professionals will miss focus. Focus is just a hard thing to get. And then we cut to the logo against a black background. Overall, awesome job, Ivan. I see a bright future for you. Just a few small things that will come with time and experience, and I can see you making a dent in the industry. Great job, Ivan. Let's move on now to Jake's video. And 3, 2, 1, here we go.
My whole life I've dealt with aggression. Until one day my therapist suggested that I should look into bonsai. She said it might be a healthy outlet for my pent-up anger, and she was right. I was hooked immediately. That was the start of Broken Bonsai. When you purchase one of my bonsai, you're able to channel your frustrations and rage through chopping these little trees and forcing them into tiny, impossibly tiny pots and wiring them up to manipulate how they look and grow. It's my mission to share my path to true inner peace with others. So now when these dark feelings arise, you can grab a pair of pruning shears and go to town on these little guys. With broken bonsai, you can turn your bad days into living pieces of art.
Well done, Jacob. That was strange and good. All right, so completely different vibe here. Jake went with a little bit of a creepier, more funny approach, which, you know, if this is a corporate commercial / selling this product of bonsai, both ways can work. Ivan's was the more traditional route. Jake's music choice popped off the bat right away. Very themed, very Japanese-esque, which bonsai trees are Japanese, and so the music fit a lot better the product. You'll notice Jake has some better depth. Instead of using the white wall in Ivan's as a big part of the frame, Jake turned the camera a little bit more left and opened up to the kitchen where you see these awesome lights hanging down. You have a second window in the back to contrast against his black hair to kind of give you some checkerboard lighting. I believe Jake's using a kit lens on this, and it feels like his has more depth and more background blur than Ivan's simply because of the framing and the composition that Jake chose. And then you see that Jake put little bonsai plants all around him to better fill the frame with the subject of the video, right? And then I love the transition from the initial interview to now some B-roll of the water squirting and the music hit comes in.
A broken bonsai.
So that's another thing, is editing to music. You can tell that Ivan just found a piece of music, plopped it on his timeline, and cut random clips to it, whereas Jake was very intentional with which parts of the song were going to match to which clips. Now, one thing I'm already noticing is the microphone that Jake was using does not sound as good. I'm guessing he positioned it well, but it still sounds a lot thinner, a lot cheaper than whatever Ivan was using. So that's an example where gear does matter. A general beginner thing to do is to never buy a microphone or to never invest in a good microphone when you eventually start becoming more of a pro. And if you're going to be doing commercial corporate type work like this, you definitely need to have a better microphone than a Rode Go or whatever this was done with. Now, the B-roll is super awesome, pretty night and day from Ivan's B-roll. You can tell Jake purposefully lit every shot. So all these little things really show that Jake has had a ton of experience and is a pro at what he does. Now, my favorite thing of Jake's is just the overall vibe and mood. It is very funny. You have these pauses and these really creepy laughs and these, you know, looks from Dallin. That's all directing. That's all Jake saying, hey, do this again, but this time do that. And I could just picture Jake getting the exact look he wanted to portray the vibe he wanted. Whereas Ivan, I think, was more of just allowing Dallin to do his thing. So awesome job, Jake. I thought you did a stellar job with what you had. Limitations aside, turned out great. So a lot of small things that gear can help out with, but as you can see, you can get away with just having a beginner camera and a tripod. So again, gear does matter, but what is more important is the skills behind the gear. So that having been said, the winner of this head-to-head would go to Jake. I thought that the pro with beginner gear made the overall better production, but you be the judge and let me know what you liked from each of them in the comments below. And huge thanks to Ivan for participating, being our guinea pig beginner. And as a thank you, we are going to actually be giving Ivan a brand new camera because he is currently shooting on his iPhone. So we are going to let Ivan pick a camera within $1,000 budget and give him his first real beginner camera to upgrade from his iPhone so he can immediately start enhancing his films and developing as a filmmaker. But that's it, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed this head-to-head. Make sure to check out Full-Time Filmmaker if you want to improve your skills, no matter what camera gear you're using, so you can start making money and be on the road yourself to becoming a full-time filmmaker. Link in the description to join our community of over 20,000 students and over 600 tutorials. Lastly, guys, don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. And if you have any further questions, please let us know.
Hey, what's up, good people? Thank you, Parker, for this wonderful opportunity to work with your team. This past January is when I actually started watching the videos. I learned so much. They're very entertaining, educational. I enjoy it a lot. If it wasn't for a couple of videos, this shoot, I would have been completely lost. One in particular was the interview where Parker walked through of how to take an interview, the rule of thirds, the depth, the angles that you will want. If it wasn't for that, I would have been pretty lost. Thank you for everything, and see you later.